Hi, I'm Emily, and I'm a level 1 chef.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I'm a level 2 chef.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm the creator of Diversity Kitchen, and I've been a professional chef for 16 years.
Today, I am making the lobster roll of my dreams, which is hot dog bun, lobster, mayo, lemon, easy, simple, tasty.
I'm making a Connecticut-style lobster roll. The lobster is warm and buttery, and it's heaven.
So my lobster roll is gonna be a little different. I'm gonna add just a touch of Dungeness crab, then I'm gonna make a Yuzu Aioli, and I'm gonna put it all in a beautiful homemade brioche bun. It's going to be absolutely delicious.
Whatever lobster rolls they're making, I want them too. I want all the lobster rolls. Is that too much to ask?
Let's start with the lobster. The best lobster roll is gonna come with a live, fresh lobster.
I'm from Seattle, and Seattle represent right now, so I'm gonna add Dungeness crab because we have tons of Dungeness crab there. Dungeness crab by nature is very sweet, plays very nicely with the lobster.
Today, I'll be using lobster tails. To my fellow Nova Scotians, I love the whole lobster. This is not about the whole lobster, but I would use the whole lobster, and I do love the whole lobster, and please do not kick me out of Nova Scotia.
Put the lobster in the freezer for 8 to 10 minutes. It puts the lobster to sleep.
My lobster and my crab have been dispatched, so now I'm gonna start by boiling.
Ooh, she's boiling.
I'm going to season my cooking liquid. You could say I've drawn my inspiration from more Asian styled ingredients. I'm gonna start with kombu. Kombu is seaweed. It can be very strong, so I just wanna season enough, take it out, and then we can add in my other ingredients.
I like to steam the lobster because when it sits in the water, I feel like the meat in the lobster gets a little too rubbery. Want to make the water taste like the sea? Lots of kosher salt.
You want it to be like super salty. Like do the amount of salt that you think and then just do like a little more salt than that. Just like a little tiny bit. Sorry, it's salt everywhere.
So I'm gonna take that out. So I'm gonna add my sake in here. And I have mirin, so the mirin goes in. It's just gonna add another flavor component to our lobster roll. We're gonna be doing them one at a time. So lobster is up first. Let that boil for about 12 to 15 minutes.
That's how you cook lobsters, just boil it. It's easy. Ooh. Cold. The lobsters are trying to escape.
I really want to keep the lobsters out of the water, so I use a steamer. They're gonna steam for about 8 to 10 minutes until they're bright red.
The meat is nice and white and the shell is nice and red. The two colors we were looking for.
Ah, he's heavy.
The ice bath will stop the cooking, get these lobsters ready for me to handle.
Next up is my crab. Gonna let that cook for about 10 minutes. Crab is ready. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with my lobster. I'm gonna place it in an ice bath, and then we can get to crack it.
Let's deshell the lobster and get all that delicious meat.
The fun and dirty part, right? We gotta pick the meat. So I'm just gonna turn this, twist this, lobster tail.
Claw fell off in the pot. It's okay because I'm gonna take this claw off too. Whoa! That was a juicy one.
It's gonna get dirty.
Take the innards out, every last piece of meat. Respect for the animal, we use all the meat.
All right, to get into my lobster tail, I'm just going to be using some kitchen shears. Ideally, you can actually do this with your hands, but I'm just not that talented.
This looks delicious.
And then that comes right out.
And I should be able to get this out pretty much as a whole tail. No, come back. Undermining me at every turn.
The claw is important. You really have to go slow with this part.
The goal here is to really keep the claw whole.
Whole piece of claw right on top of the sandwich for the best presentation.
Whittle the small part of the claw, and then that part will come out. Kitchen shears, they are your life in the kitchen. Put this on the side and make sure that I'm not getting into the meat itself. And voila, go ahead and put this right on top.
That's nice. This is the reason why a good lobster roll costs $30. It's a lot of labor.
Crab is a little different. A lot of people get intimidated by this. There's really nothing to get intimidated by. Start here on the bottom, and then you pull. Alrighty. You want to peel off all the brains, the guts, the lungs, right? That we don't eat. Here, cut this in half. Separated the legs from the body meat. You can take a little fork and just pick that out. Now for a claw, you can literally just break them with your hands.
And now I'm just going to chop them up for my lobster rolls. You want some big chunks, some smaller chunks.
Chop up the meat so it's kind of uniform. When I saute it in the butter, it's gonna heat more evenly.
I just want it to be able to fit nicely into the roll, to not be huge when you're chewing it.
That's gonna taste good later. Also right now, but I won't eat it right now because that's not the job.
I'm gonna add just a touch of Dungeness meat, a little. It's still gonna be predominantly lobster. Maybe just a little handful. There we go, that's it. I'm gonna save this crab meat for another dish and we're ready to move on.
This will make 2 very, very nice lobster rolls.
It's time to dress this thing up. I've had a lot of lobster rolls in my life. This is my favorite way. I just like it simple. I'm going to be mixing my lobster meat with some mayo, lemon juice, and salt and pepper. Give my mayo a shake. You can always add more, you can't add less, so. You don't want to go too heavy on the lemon because this is really all about showcasing the lobster.
Here's my de-shelled lobster, ready to take a butter bath. Yes, a whole stick of unsalted butter. I don't want the butter to brown. Some nice sea salt. 1 clove of garlic. I don't want the garlic to overpower the lobster. The garlic will just dissolve. In goes our lobster meat. Nothing looks better than butter and lobster.
I'll be making a Yuzu Aioli for my dressing.
My understanding of what an aioli is basically that it's a different mayonnaise. So in some ways, I have made an aioli, and in other ways, no.
So this is my yuzu juice. It's a Japanese citrus. It definitely has a little more kick than, say, lemon or lime. I'm gonna start by dividing my egg first. Add my yolk. Gonna add my yuzu juice. I've got my fresh clove of garlic, a pinch of salt, another little pinch.
Celery is sort of a controversial aspect of the lobster salad roll. I'll put it in, I'll look at it, I'll feel it out. It's just a little crunch.
Lobster's all cooked. Now we can dress it with the chives and the lemon. Chives are kind of oniony, but really, really subtle. Nice pop of green. The zest is actually more lemony than the juice, just half the lemon. Careful of my claws. That's good.
And now it's time to use your muscles. Just slowly drizzle in my oil. It's gonna get a lot thicker. The color is gonna change. As my forearm is a little soft, right? Perfect. I think it'll dress the lobster quite nicely, so I'm gonna move on to my shiso. Shiso is Japanese mint. It's not your traditional mint. It definitely has a different flavor, so I'm gonna chop a little bit of this up, and I can already tell, like, it's very fragrant.
A couple cracks of pepper in there, and salt. Beautiful. My lobster salad is looking good. Let's just give my parsley a little chop. And then like a leaf of lettuce, basically.
I don't want to go extra heavy on this. I still like for this to be very light. I think a little goes a long way here. Now time for my shiso, and try not to go too crazy, right? You have the soft bread, you've got the texture from the lobster and crab meat, and then I always say there's something missing, right? You want a little crunch, and crispy shallots, that's my go-to for that. Want them to be pretty thin. Take my potato starch. There's enough moisture on the shallot itself to have the starch stick to it. And then I'm just gonna put these nicely in here, and I want these to get golden brown. Give these a little toss in here, right? And then we're gonna add some salt. These are gonna go great on top of our lobster roll.
All right, now for my bread. Today I'll be using the classic hot dog bun. I don't have to slice it. I'm just gonna butter it, toast it, bam, we're on our way. Do you like lobster? Not really. Uh-oh. Too bad.
This is an important step. If you're making a Connecticut lobster roll, has to be a split top bun. For my lobster roll, I have potato. I just love the flavor of the potato buns.
I'll definitely take a potato bun over a regular hot dog bun. I'm gonna be making brioche from scratch by hand.
Cool, that sounds great. Has anyone told her about hot dog buns though?
So first I'm gonna start by mixing warm milk and warm water. Now this is dry active yeast, so I'm gonna sprinkle that on top. I wanna do this first before I add it into the dough. And then I'm gonna add, make sure I grab the sugar and not the salt. Now I'm gonna take my flour. Grab your salt. I'm somebody who always loves to work with their hands, right? I like to get my hands dirty. So I'm gonna add my eggs to my wet ingredients. And now I'm gonna slowly work this with my fingertips.
So I'm gonna butter the buns because there isn't enough butter.
It's like, think of it like a grilled cheese, you know? You butter the outside of a grilled cheese, or you put a little mayo on there even. Learned that from Epicurious. Tried it out, pretty good.
Now it comes to the butter. You want a room temperature butter that's gonna work itself into the dough. I'm gonna fold it over like that, and then the heel, and like this. I'm gonna finish it in the mixer. You're gonna let it go until it no longer sticks to the sides of the actual bowl.
Give these time to toast.
Want it to get golden brown. Yeah, we'll flip it over. And that's it. There you have it. Bun.
I'm pulling it and it's not coming apart. That's what you're looking for. And then I'm gonna cover it with a little plastic wrap, and I'm gonna let this sit for about an hour and a half, and it will double in size. And then I'm gonna deflate it. Grab the sides of it, all the air goes right back out of it. This is gonna go in the refrigerator. I'm gonna deflate it 2 more times, and then tomorrow morning we're going to shape and bake our buns.
So we're looking here for like a golden brown, a little bit crispy, maybe a little bit of browning.
Are you gonna toast the inside at all?
Nah.
Okay, now we're toasting. There we go. Toasted butter on bread. That's flavor.
The dough has been resting overnight, so now is the time to roll them and put them into the shape that we want. I have my pears. So you want all the buns to be the same size. And then I'm gonna take my rolling pin, create a nice rectangle shape. And then I'm gonna take it and I'm just gonna roll it. And I'm gonna make sure that that seam there is on the bottom. And then I'll take the other one and do the same. Same thing. Go ahead and roll it. And then right there in the center. And now I repeat with the remaining 5 I have. My buns are shaped, so I'm gonna cover them and let them proof for about 30 minutes. Okay, great, these are perfect. I'm gonna brush them with a little egg wash. Pop my brioche buns in the oven at about 350 for about 25 minutes, just until they're golden brown.
All right, I think my buns are about toasted here. Move them off.
Perfectly toasted buns, split top potato roll buns.
Look at that, look at our bread, doesn't it look great?
Let's roll on into making our lobster rolls.
Time to assemble the lobster roll.
All right, so bun on the plate. Say ah. Ah.
Nice warm toasted roll.
Create a nice little slit. Take my thumb and move some of this back to make more room for my filling.
Got my shredded lettuce. Go a little bit along the bottom here. As much lobster as you can stuff in there, that is the correct amount of lobster.
This is 2 lobsters. Can't have too much meat.
I definitely want it to be full. 1 piece of my claw.
Usually you get 1 claw. At home you do 2.
Just take a little bit of this yuzu, just is so nice. Sprinkle a little more shiso, there we go. Flake sea salt.
Chives on the plate, cover any imperfections.
A little sprinkle of parsley. Is it parsley or parsley?
My shallots are gonna kind of fall apart. Hit it with a touch of togarashi. It's a Japanese seasoning with chili pepper, sesame seeds, and other seasonings. And finally, microgreens. Honestly, that looks badass. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but.
Check that out. And this is my lobster roll. Stay. You stay.
This is my Connecticut-inspired lobster roll.
And here is my version of the lobster roll. The touch of Dungeness crab, Yuzu Aioli, crispy shallots, togarashi, all on a homemade brioche bun.
I'm gonna eat this whole thing really fast. It's gonna be interesting. The lobster meat is sweet. And it's like lifted by the lemon.
The yuzu in there really just brings it up. It's fresh, it's tasty, it's got great crunch from the shallots. The brioche is buttery.
I can taste the lemon, but mostly I just taste buttered lobster.
I really like the togarashi in there because it really adds like a savory component, a little heat.
Pair it with like a pint of beer, some fries on the side, maybe a little salad.
The best place to eat this is on a deck, outside after a day at the beach, looking at the Long Island Sound.
You're having a great day. I like to think Nova Scotia would be proud of me right now. Hi guys, I miss you.
Lobster rolls are as decadent as they are delicious. Let's see what each of our 3 chefs did with theirs. Emily used lobster tails for her lobster roll. Tail meat is slightly sweet, tender, succulent, and white with a slight reddish color where it was attached to the shell. Emily boiled her lobster tails, which means it was cooked at 212 degrees Fahrenheit at standard atmospheric pressure. This is a lower temperature than roasting, so it helps to keep the meat tender. Beth used a whole lobster, which she steamed. The abundance of reactive, free amino acids allows lobster meat to undergo savory, flavor-producing reactions at temperatures lower than required for other types of meat. This is why boiling or steaming lobster meat, instead of roasting or grilling, makes them so delicious. Danielle used 2 types of crustaceans, lobster and Dungeness crab, which she boiled. Boiling in the shells helps to retain the shape of the meat and protects it from becoming tough and shrunken. Dungeness is exceptionally sweet and slightly briny crab meat. These crabs grow along the northwest coast of North America, including Danielle's hometown of Seattle. Emily made a New England-style lobster roll. Citric acid in the lemon juice reacted with the amino acids on the surface of the lobster meat, forming new compounds which reduced any lingering fishy odors. So in addition to a nice pop of acid, it also had a functional purpose. Beth made a warm Connecticut-style lobster roll. She sautéed her lobster meat in warm, garlicky butter. Serving it warm enhances the sweet perception of the lobster meat, since our taste buds work more efficiently at warmer temperatures. Danielle made a unique Yuzu Aioli for her lobster roll. Yuzu is an acidic citrus fruit with a complex flavor profile, which includes hints of clove and muskiness from phenolic compounds such as eugenol and cavacrol. Emily used soft, fluffy, typically New England-style hot dog buns. These rolls contain dough conditioners like mono and diglycerides and sodium stearoyl 2-lactylate, which are added to soften the dough and make it less sticky when it's being formed by machines commercially. Beth used potato rolls. This type of bun originated with Pennsylvania Dutch and differs from our other types of rolls because some of the flour is replaced with potato starch. These potato starch granules swell more readily at lower temperatures than other types of starches, resulting in rolls that are soft and slightly sweet. Danielle made her own brioche. Its richness comes from the large amounts of eggs and butter added. These ingredients make the yeast work harder because they add a lot of mass and weight to the dough, making the rising during the fermentation step delicately balanced. She also proofed the dough multiple times. Each time she deflated and rekneaded the dough, the yeast was redistributed so that it worked to leaven by producing more carbon dioxide. There are so many ways to make a lobster roll. We hope you'll take some of these tips from our 3 wonderful chefs the next time you make yours.